Welcome back to Missouri Valley Media Day here on the field of 68. And we are now joined by Evansville head coach David Ragland. Coach, I want to ask you this. If you go back to New Year's Eve on 2019, all the way until the start of last season, you guys won, the Evansville program won a total of 20 games. Last season, you guys win 17 games, which is as big of an improvement as you're going to find at the Division I level. What led to that growth? What led to that program development? What led to that success?
That's an interesting stat. I didn't look at it that way. I knew I was coming to a fan base that was starving for some type of success, and that's the reason behind the starvation. But no, I think a lot of it just had to do with laying down a foundation of what we wanted our culture to look like. Our style of play, how we want to play, the type of student athletes that we want on our team, and just how we were going to build what we felt like was going to be a championship level program. But in order to be a championship level program, you have to have building blocks, and to go from quite honestly bad to competitive to good to really good. You have to take certain steps, and I felt like last year we took a step in the right direction, just led by a bunch of guys that had blind faith in our staff and what we were trying to accomplish on the court, and honestly off the court. Just trying to build the right habits. We're big believers in uh, how you do one thing is how you do everything, and we just try to build the right habits to make sure that guys understand how you show up to practice, how you do your schoolwork, or how you are in the community is all important things. And a lot of small things equate to a win. And staying process driven, and our process was to get better every single day with the right mindset. Helped us to kind of create a level of some, I guess, momentum to get out of bad to competitive and hopefully good.
So you did that last year, and that's obviously the really good news. You need
Mhm.
momentum. Period. You need
Yeah.
momentum. You have it, and then you look down and you're like, all right, those fifth year seniors gone. Ben goes to Big Ten school.
Yeah.
Bailey goes to Nevada, and there's nothing you
Yeah.
can do in some of those cases, right? Like they just have NIL. Like you probably wish Ben
Right.
good luck in a
Yeah.
way. Like, hey, you know what? If you're going to make this money, play at the high major level, it is what it is in today's
Right.
college sports. How difficult is it to have to flip it over again when you get that momentum in year two and start feeling good about the program where you're at,
Right.
and now you got a completely different cast of characters? Although you've got some guys coming off the bench that I assume will have to be ready for extended roles.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think what collegiate sports were evolving. And anytime you're going to be successful in life, you have to continue to evolve. And you're right. You wish guys like Ben the best of luck. Y'all seen the best of luck. Chuck, Sekou, different guys that helped us, kind of build what we built to this point. You wish them well. And at the end of the day, it's about fit. And it's kind of it's evolved. This program has evolved in the short time that we've been here. When we took over, the stat that you said of the number of wins that we've had when we took over the program, there's not a ton of people lined up to be a part of that program. So you
Right.
get who get you and who believe in you, and that's the start of it. And then you kind of build on that. I think one thing that was really good for us is we do return 10 guys. You mentioned the six rotation guys that return. Tanner Cup was an all bench guy that played a ton of minutes. Joshua Hughes was a rotation guy that played a good amount of minutes. Going to be a sophomore now. Cameron Hafner, another rotation guy that plays significant minutes, starter minutes, is back in the fold. And then Braylon Jackson and Gitesh and Michael Day all played minutes throughout the year. And then we have four walk-ons that return as well. And one thing that we just had individual meetings and we tell our walk-ons, don't let anyone outside this wall, um, uh, I guess, discredit the impact that you make on our program. You may not play the minutes or score all the points, but in terms of like our culture and how we work and what really impacts winning in a positive way, they have it every day. So in total, we had 10 guys that understand our culture and what we built to this point. And we were so close in a number of games where, we lose at the buzzer to Drake. We lose at the buzzer to Murray State. We play in a number of close games where, 17 can turn to, 20 or 20, whatever. To where, there's no better teacher in life than experience, for our guys that are returning to be able to infuse that with the guys that, have seen the jump that we made, that believe that they can make a positive impact to help us make another jump. That's impactful to your culture and what we're building. So, we just, one thing is what we created and the guys that are coming back. The other part is, as you have a little bit more success, you're able to recruit guys that really fit you and guys that have been productive. And we're able to pick up, 4 transfers, 2 from Division one from junior college and YA level that we feel will help us, and then 2 really good freshmen that are international kids that we think really fit what we're doing here.
I wanted to ask you about one of those transfers, specifically Connor Turnbull, a guy that I believe you recruited when you were at Butler, correct? And you're
Yeah.
going to pair him with Joshua Hughes, who, when we do these like breakout stars, breakout player lists, what I like to look for are freshmen becoming sophomores that were
Yeah.
playing behind someone that was a little bit ahead of them on the depth chart, that were productive in the minutes that they did have. And Josh Hughes checks all of those boxes. Talk to me about your big guys. Talk to me about that front court. Are you excited about it? Because I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I think you hit it on the head. I mean, it's exciting to see them. They have some abilities about them and qualities about them that coach can't infuse, and that's height, number one, length, number 2, a really good knack and feel offensively. The guys, they both can dribble, pass, shoot. They both have very good instincts defensively, and first off, have an ability to switch on different defenders, and then rim protection. And we want to be a really good defensive team that defends and rebounds. And a lot of that has to do with your anchor, has to do with your front court. And when you have 2 guys that are 6'10 plus that can move and can protect the paint, the rim, that really, really helps. But Connor, this is essentially feels like my 3rd time recruiting him out of high school. And that went fairly well into Butler. And then after getting let go on Laval's staff, and then getting retained when Thad Mata took over, getting him to stay was another recruiting process. And then once he left, Butler to figure out what he was going to do next, we're able to recruit him again to Evansville. So, I told him, man, like, I've recruited you 3 times and I actually for once get a chance to coach you. So it's been quite the journey, but now we're happy he's here, and I think he's going to be able to provide a lot for us as well, Joshua Hughes.
So I did a little digging on you, Dave. And the best place to dig, the easiest place to dig was to go to your former boss at Utah State, Craig Smith. And he had a couple things, one of which he said, make sure you ask Dave about camping. He said, and the first time he went camping. All right, so give me the lowdown. And then there's a fajita story, too, the first lunch, his rule about fajitas. But start with camping, and I think it was during COVID, maybe?
Yes. Man, you did your homework. That's pretty good stuff. All right, so camping, we went out to Utah, and obviously that was a different experience that I've never been a part of. I've always been in the Midwest, born in the Midwest, went to school in the Midwest. I coached at different places like here in the Midwest, and Utah State, is more west than I've ever been. Completely different experience. It's beautiful out there, very nice people. My family and I had this great idea that we would, make it an adventure and try things we haven't done. Skiing was one of them, and I was one and done with skiing. That was going to end very bad if I continued to do that. The other one was camping, and I was not prepared. I didn't have. I mean, I didn't know that there's no running water. You're sleeping on essentially the ground. So like I have rocks like in my neck, trying to sleep. It gets extremely cold at night, and there are like wild animals that live, in
What was your vision?
a home.
What was your vision? Like an upscale Marriott or something? Like
You
I
know,
don't know
I
what you
mean,
thought.
maybe not upscale, but like just a level below, like KOA. KOA would have been great. I'm thinking, hey man, we're gonna be in a mobile home, maybe. It was an experience, and we made it. We actually got to a point where we started, getting the air mattress and building fires and hunting for our food. I'm like, hey man, we can do all this stuff. Like like we've evolved as
Did you do it again
civilization.
once you left Utah? Dave, have you
No,
done it again since you
I'm
left
out the
Utah?
game. I retired from camping. I'm done. I'm done. And then
All right, we'll get
it's
back
funny
to
about the
go ahead.
fajita.
Go ahead.
Fajita. It's so funny because this is one of the first times that, like Craig and I, we knew each other actually through Greg Lansing. Greg Lansing went to South Dakota. Craig was coaching at South Dakota. So we mutually knew each other, but we had not spent a ton of time with each other prior to me working out there. So we go to eat, like one of the first times we go to eat, and we're at a Mexican restaurant, and I'm not crazy about Mexican food. It's just not my deal. But like the happy medium for me, outside of chips and salsa, is a fajita. It's hard to mess up a fajita. Well, I get the fajita, and I'm sitting here. Craig is sitting right next to me, and like all the fajita smoke is like blowing toward Craig, and he's like next to me, kind of cringed up. And after that, not that time, but we go to get Mexican again. After the second time, I get word that the one thing that Craig doesn't like is fajitas. And I'm like,
It's like a
oh, thanks for
rule.
the heads up,
It's like a
fellas.
Craig Smith rule, right?
That's a Craig. Yeah, Craig. He does not. So like now, every time I get a fajita, I send him the picture. Like, hey man, here you go. I ordered your favorite dish.
Next time I see him, I actually did dinner with him. I wish I had known this because I did dinner with him last year in Salt Lake City, and I totally would have went to a
Yes,
Mexican place and ordered a fajita.
absolutely. I highly recommend it because it is so he's so uncomfortable. But he didn't tell me till after the second time. But now I know.
Hey, what are realistic expectations for this team? Do you have any idea? Because
Right.
again, of the turnover and the new guys,
Right.
a lot of coaches don't. Do you have a pretty good feel and expectations?
I mean, I think you said it. A lot of coaches don't because of all the turnover. However, I think the jump that we made and the group that we have, um, coming in, I do feel like the jump that we made from dead last to we're bottom third, upper half of the league. How do you get competitive? How do you get to a point where you can play for championships? Where you have to get to upper part of the league, and I feel like we have an opportunity to do that with our versatility, our competitive edge, and just the approach that we've taken. We're going to continue to be process driven and find a way to be a better version of ourselves daily. But we also have a goal of eventually winning championships here and reviving the Story program. That's the reason why we decided to be here at the University of Evansville as a staff and as players. And in order to get there, we have to get to the upper half of the league. And with all the turnover, not only on our roster, but I think with the league, with the coaching changes, with all the players, 26 or 27 starters that are now gone out of the league, there's going to be some jockeying for position. And, we feel like we have an opportunity to jump toward that top half. And, that's a goal for us. And we're going to work like crazy to ensure that we get there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you being here on Missouri Valley Media Day here on the Field of 68, presented by your favorite campground, the Holiday Inn Express. We'll be back with more coming up right after this.